I'm Jack Patty, and this is the Senior Minute, successfully serving seniors.
Thanks for joining us today for the Senior Minute. I'm Christy Stambaugh, Director of Aging and Disability Services, and today I have with me a very special guest, Dennis Anderson with Anderson Communities. Welcome.
Thank you, Christy.
Today we're going to talk about shared housing and the very, very unique community you have created and continue to create out at McConnell Trace. It's Golden Oaks Senior Living. Tell us about that.
Golden Oaks, we did this after my mother, the experience I had with my mother and with some members of our church. My mother, when she decided it was time to move into assisted living, or it was really independent living, she went to every place in town and she chose this place. And when we got there, she was kind of a private person, and it was a big building, lots of people. And they went to dinner as a cafeteria. And it just didn't feel like home. It was very expensive. And I thought, gee whiz, we need to do something that's more affordable and in a human scale. And then the other experience was a couple in the church. They were in their 80s and decided they needed a little assistance and moved into a senior living facility. And shortly after, they contacted COVID and they both passed. So then I started to question putting lots of people in a concentrated area, riding elevators together, and about health and safety. So essentially what entrepreneurs look for, we look for a problem, and then we look for a solution. How are we going to solve this? How can we make it better? And is this, we're creating something that would create value to the end user that they'd be willing to pay us for, that we could use to cover our costs and have a profit. And we haven't had a profit in this yet, but that's all right. It's more about a new way of housing seniors. And we came up with our Golden Oaks concept. We put 4 people in one building. They have private suites on all the corners with their own locking door, their own desk, their own TV, their own private shower, 0 entry shower. We took away the ability to trip. We made the door openers so they could handle it with a compromised mobility. Bright lights, distinct colors so they could see, took away trip hazards. And there's just a whole lot involved in building this. Then we created a common living pod, and there we have a TV area which they will get together and have popcorn and watch a movie. They watch UK ball games. Sometimes we have a full kitchen, lots of shelving, pantry, dishwasher, all the modern convenience, granite countertops with a bar area. And that's we do so much in our society around food, cooking food together, communicating together, and offering opportunities for social interaction. And then we have a dining room table, and then another area we have a card table. We have a front and back covered porches. So you need 3 types of spaces in these homes. You need private space, which is their private suite. They can go turn on their own TV, they can sit at their desk, they have a living room, they have a bedroom, and they have a luxury bath. Then you need semi-public space, which would be the front and back porches, where you can go and be somewhat with yourself, or maybe with one person, or just say hi to a neighbor. And then you need the public space where you have opportunities for more intense connection and social interaction. Loneliness is such a problem with our seniors today. And so we wanted something that had a human scale. It wasn't a big factory operation, to where there was still that intimacy. And that's what we've created. It's a pod of 4 seniors.
Nice. It is so interesting that it was inspired by your personal experience.
Absolutely.
We in Lexington have just been thrilled with our age-friendly Lexington communities. We have been looking at a variety of housing options, and the shortfalls kind of in our community for people who are looking for exactly what you have created in the Golden Oaks community. And I know that for the people I serve, seniors, it's a wonderful addition to our community. So thank you so much for doing that.
Well, thank you.
The one lesson you learned, what have you learned? Because I understand you're going to build some more.
You know, we thought this out a lot before we did it. We had focus groups. We went to the Builders Show in Las Vegas and went and looked at their senior. That's where we learned about the distinct colors, the light switches, the doorknobs, the
Universal design kinds of things.
Yes,
right?
to make it easy for them. But then the social aspects, we just kind of got it through our focus groups. We moved the first group in, and the only reason they've moved out is because they had to have us a higher standard of care. And I met with them. I'd take them to lunch and ask them what they liked, what they didn't like, and they really didn't have many not likes, and I can't even remember what they were now, but they were easy fixes, and we took care of it. And then a year later, I came in and said, what spaces in this are you using? Do you use this space? Do you use that space? And they were using the private spaces more than we thought they would.
Okay.
And so we made them larger. And then some of the public spaces, we made them smaller. And now we're building the second edition, but very similar to the first one. We pretty much hit the nail on the head. We went about it very methodically, and we're happy with the way it's worked out. What seniors want, they want a simpler life. They've taken care of the big yard. They've done the maintenance on a home, and they just don't, in the misery of getting a new mortgage and stuff like this. So we call it no mowing, no mortgage, no maintenance.
Nice.
And so we've simplified their life to one check.
Right. Again, Dennis Anderson, thank you so much for coming out today, for being a pioneer in new housing options for our seniors in the Lexington community. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Christy.